Hello everyone. In the last session, we studied about the introduction and we studied about the components of DNA. Without wasting time, we'll move on to the structure of DNA first. It was first discovered when nucleic acids was first discovered by Friedrich Mischer and Zaccharis. He named nuclein as nucleic acids, and later on Watson and Crick in the year of 1966 they coined the double helical model of DNA, or they give a very beautiful and easy structure of DNA. Nowadays we are learning them in the name of double helical model of DNA. So we'll see the nucleosides and the nucleotides, and we'll move on to the polynucleotide chain. So nucleosides, it is nothing but if the DNA, if it combined with one pentose sugar, it is not DNA, I am sorry, one nitrogen base. We are learning what is nucleoside here. Nitrogen base in the combination of pentose sugar. So what nitrogen base we are learning here? So we'll write that if the adenine nitrogen base combined with pentose sugar, it will become adenosine. And then what will be if the thiamine combined with pentose sugar, cytosine combined with pentose sugar, and guanine combined with pentose sugar. So that is the assignment for you. You have to name the nucleosides of thiamine, cytosine, guanine and uracil. Uracil also, just write it and send it to me. Okay. So this nitrogen base and pentose sugar, if it become a nucleoside, okay, so what we are learning here? We are learning the nucleoside. If this nucleoside, it get combined with phosphoric acid or phosphate group, it is known as nucleotide. So how the structure of nucleotides, how it looks? It has one nitrogen base, one pentose sugar and one phosphoric group is present. Alright, we'll see the structure of nucleotide here, and then we'll go to the dinucleotide. So we'll start with the pentose sugar first. So pentose sugar, it has 4 carbon atom and 1 carbon atom at the arm. At the first carbon atom, one nitrogen base come and bind to the hydroxyl group. So the nitrogen base, either it is adenine, guanine, thiamine or cytosine. Remember, we are in DNA. Don't take or don't use uracil here, because the uracil nitrogen base comes in RNA. So the nitrogen base come and bind to the first carbon atom of pentose sugar. This bond is known as glycosidic bond. Okay. So here, as it is carbon number 2, carbon number 3, carbon number 4, and to the carbon number 5, it has CH2 and OH, right? So that I'll write here, OH. To this OH group, or to the at the fifth carbon atom, the phosphoric acid phosphoric acid structure is, it is like this, right? So here we have the complete structure of what we are having. We are having a complete structure of nucleotide. We have one pentose sugar, nitrogen base which is attached to the first carbon atom, and phosphoric acid. This phosphoric acid attached to the fifth carbon atom. So we have to show one bond here, as like we have shown the glycosidic bond. No, one more bond should present here. So that bond is phosphodiester bond, phosphodiester bond. By dissolving the water, one molecule of water, the phosphoric acid forms a bond known as phosphodiester bond, and it get attached to the fifth carbon atom of pentose sugar. So this is how the bonding and the name of this bond is phosphodiester bond. The name of this bond is glycosidic bond. So if the nitrogen base attached to the pentose sugar forming a bond or forming a link, that link is glycosidic bond. The phosphoric acid phosphate group, it get attached to the fifth carbon atom of pentose sugar by forming a bond known as phosphodiester bond. Alright, so this is one nucleotide. So how to write the subsequent, the one more nucleotide? Because as we know, the structure of DNA is having two strands, right? So this is the structure of DNA. Two strands, they helically coiled with one another. Coiled means they won't cross, they parallel with one another. So if this strand is running like in this way, so just look at this. If I write 3' at this end, the coil, or sorry, the strand runs in this way. The strand position is like this. Alright, one more strand come in the anti-parallel condition. Anti-parallel means this strand goes in the upside down direction, so that they run parallelly, but they won't cross with one another. They won't cross like this, they run parallel manner. Okay, so now I should show the next nucleotide here. We'll write the next nucleotide so that so we have this on the board, a chemical component or chemical structure of DNA. Let me start with this diagram. The DNA strand or DNA, it has two strands which is running anti-parallel, or those are running in the parallel condition, in the parallel way. So these strand, how they get connected? They both connected with the hydrogen bonds. Where the hydrogen bonds will be? Let me start one more. Let me tell you one more thing here. The strand is known as the backbone of DNA. The backbone is consists of the pentose sugar and phosphate group or phosphoric acid. So this backbone is made of, or it is having pentose sugar and phosphoric group. They one strand or one backbone and one more backbone, they both connected with one another by the hydrogen bonds. How the hydrogen bonds linked with one another? The nitrogen base present in this strand and nitrogen base present in this strand, they both forms the two double hydrogen bond and triple hydrogen bonds. So how the double and triple hydrogen bonds will be? Here we are having purines and pyrimidines in the nitrogen bases, right? So can you name them? Purines are adenine and guanine. Pyrimidines are cytosine and thymine. Right. So if the purine is present at this place, at this position, if the purines in sense adenine nitrogen base is present, to the adenine, the thymine pyrimidine, that only that nitrogen base it get combined or it get form hydrogen bond. They both connect with one another by forming two bonds of hydrogen. Here one bond and one more bond. They are hydrogen bonds. Okay. So if I write literally like if it is a nitrogen base, it should come, the T should come at to the opposite of what? Adenine nitrogen base. Okay, by forming two hydrogen bonds. If at the next place, if guanine purine is present or guanine nitrogen base is present, in the opposite of guanine, cytosine nitrogen base should come. So this is how it pair with one another by forming two hydrogen bonds and three hydrogen bonds. And one more thing to tell, the size of the hydrogen bonds are very much equal in all the in all the base pairs. In the last session we learned about the base pairs, right? So those base pairs are nothing but when the nitrogen bases, when the purines combine with pyrimidine by forming hydrogen bonds, so those are nothing but base pairs. If the DNA take a complete turn, a complete 360 degree turn, it will be having 10 nitrogen bases. Okay, so the length between one base pair and one more base pair is 3.5 angstrom. This is one base pair. Think it is having C here. C should combine with G nitrogen base. Alright. So C nitrogen base, C is the pyrimidine, G is the purine. By forming three hydrogen bases, they pair with one another. The length of the space or the gap it forms in between these two, one base pair and one more base pair, the length of two base pairs are 3.4 angstrom. Okay, so if it has to take one complete turn, how many base pairs I told you? It should be 10 base pairs. The length of 10 base pairs, or if it has to take one complete turn, the length of the one turn DNA strand is 34 angstrom, and the diameter of double helical model of DNA is 20 angstrom. Okay, so if they ask you to write the structure of or the double helical model of DNA, you have to write all these points. Okay, purines bind with pyrimidine, and the size of the two base pairs and the one turn, if the DNA takes one complete turn, how many nitrogen bases will be present, and what is the length of the 10 nitrogen bases, the diameter of nitrogen bases. Here you can observe it has taken only small compression is present at this end, but here a deep impression is present. No, so this impression or compression is known as shallow groove and deep groove. All right, so next is, if we talk about this structure, what are there in this structure? I should tell one more thing here. The free end of this strand, I have written it as 3 prime, and the free end of the same strand at the other end is 5 prime, and subsequent strand has 3 prime at this end and 5 prime at this end. That is the free ends. Nothing is bind to that place. So what is that? If we start by describing that point, see here, I am going to tell you the free ends first. Consider this is one strand and this is one strand. Okay, just forget about the bonds present in between these two. This is one strand and this is one strand, and so this is the one nucleotide and one nucleotide. How many nucleotides are present here? 2 nucleotides. So I can name this as dinucleotide. Only dinucleotide will not be present in the DNA. It has or it is known as polynucleotide strand. It means number of nucleotides will be present in the DNA. Consider this as one nucleotide and this as one nucleotide. The phosphoric acid attached at here, see, look at this, to the 5th carbon atom the phosphoric acid attached, right, and to the subsequent nucleotide the phosphoric acid attached by forming a phosphodiester bond. So at the 3rd carbon atom it get connected, right. So next is, so you can name this as phosphodiester bond, and this is the phosphodiester bond. So one more is there, this is glycosidic bond, and this is also a glycosidic bond and glycosidic bond. Now we were talking about the primes, right, free ends. Look at this nucleotide, nothing is there, nothing is connected to this nucleotide. Further we can write, but to the every nucleotide, the 5 at the 5th carbon atom it will be free. All right, so the free form of nucleotide, the carbon atom which is present at this nucleotide is 5, right. So that become a 5 prime. So just come down, at this place nothing is connected to this to this OH group. All right, so this become the end, the free form of the DNA is at this end is 3 prime. Now this is the free end and this is one free end. What we have taken here, this strand has 2 free ends. At the top of the free end has 5 prime, at the bottom of the strand it has 3 prime free end, and coming to this strand it has 3 prime as a free end, and at the bottom of this strand 5, carbon number 5, nothing is attached to this nucleotide. Alright, so we can call it as a free end, and the carbon atom which is present at the free end is 5. So we are calling them as 5 prime and 3 prime, 5 prime and 3 prime. One nucleotide, or what do you call this as? The backbone of DNA and the backbone of DNA. The nitrogen bases always come and connect to the first carbon atom. To the first carbon atom, I have written here one nitrogen base which comes under, it comes under purine. It is adenine. So if the adenine is present, the subsequent nucleotide should be the thiamine. These two bond, or these two pair with one another by forming 2 hydrogen bonds. Right, come down, come little. So I have written here the strand should run anti-parallel wise, anti-parallel condition. So I have drawn upside down. Okay, so if it is upside down, this corner or this end will be first carbon atom, this is the second carbon atom, third carbon atom, fourth carbon atom, and the arm will be having fifth carbon atom. This is the first, second, third and fourth and fifth. To the first carbon atom, one of the nitrogen bases should come and connect to the first carbon atom, but it won't happen in this anti-parallel wise strand. So look at this parallel strand here. Here I have drawn G, guanine nitrogen bases. If the guanine nitrogen base is present at the first carbon atom of one strand, here it should be, it has to be cytosine by forming 3 hydrogen bonds. Here 2 hydrogen bonds. So this is how it connect with one another by forming 3 bonds. How many bonds? 3 bonds. One is hydrogen bond, glycosidic bond, phosphodiester bond. So this is all about the structure of, chemical structure of what? DNA. It has nucleotides and 3 bonds, and it is running anti-parallel wise, or it is purely known as double helical model of DNA proposed by Watson and Crick. So many times in the examination they have asked about the double helical model of DNA. For 5 marks you have to describe the structure and you have to write the description of that, or else they'll ask you to write the Watson and Crick model of DNA. Alright, so this is all about the DNA. In the next session we'll start with the experiments, the search for genetic material, which is the next content of this chapter. And don't forget the polynucleotide chain. This is only the polynucleotides, one polynucleotide chain and one polynucleotide chain. They combine with one another and form a double helical model of DNA. Thank you.